The word gladiator means one who wields a sword, coming from the word gladius, which means sword.
The gladiators were originally established by the Etruscans, but then it was later adopted by the Romans. The first gladiatorial combats took place in 264 BC. They originally took place in amphitheaters, and rich individuals usually held them to gain public standing with the citizens.
Gladiators were often an object of female adoration, not abortion. Even women fought as gladiators, although rarely. But when they fought, they usually fought dwarves, not the minor people from all those weird movies, but short midget people.
Yeah, dwarf. Yeah, woman. I believe you knocked off my feather.
The banning of female gladiators in the early 3rd century suggests that women were taking up this occupation in an alarming rate.
Not everyone enjoyed gladiator combat, such as Saint Telemachus, who rushed into the gladiator arena one time and decided to separate two gladiators and was stoned to death afterwards. Gladiators were usually prisoners of war, slaves, or sentenced criminals. The criminals usually weren't expected to last over a year, but if they did, they can earn their freedom after 3 years.
However, some freeborn men voluntarily chose to be gladiators.
I volunteer!
Though volunteering as a gladiator seems like a crazy idea, it did have its advantages. One advantage of gladiators was because they were a profitable investment. They lived better than common people in terms of food, housing, and medical attention. It has even been estimated that by the end of the Republic, half of the gladiators were volunteers.
Research suggests that gladiators were not as savage as you think because they adhered to a code of discipline and conduct. As an example of this code of discipline, if they were ordered to kill an opponent, which was very rare because gladiators were expensive, they may have pretended to kill him and dragged him backstage to humanely kill him with a hammer to the forehead. Gladiators did not always have to die after every match. The audience would usually want them to fight for future amusement if they fought good.
Some emperors were even swept away by the gladiator mania. For example, Emperor Caligula and Emperor Commodus. Both of these emperors actually appeared as gladiators in the arena, but with opponents who were careful to inflict no harm. Also, both of these emperors were mentally unstable.
The gladiators often traveled in troops, and their managers were called lanistas, and the gladiators had to swear an oath to him. Gladiators were such an investment to their owners that the training schools would often include the best medical care. The lanista usually rented out gladiators to people who wanted to stage games, and gladiators usually fought no more than 3 times a year.
The life of a gladiator was often decided by a thumbs up or thumbs down from the emperor.
Gladiators were trained in special schools called ludos.
The Roman word for a gladiator volunteer was octorati.
The gladiator combats were stopped in 325 AD, but they kept going on for many years, and they were finally stopped in 404 AD.